Hi, Tiny Hands, Big Dreams. So today we've got a bit on lumber. If you think of building a project as going to Home Depot and just buying all the lumber, that's easier. Where we are, there is no such thing. There's no Home Depot. So lumber is trees that you cut down, you dry, you peel. Now, that's how I always thought of it. It's not like I did a lot of this before I moved here. So I went to buy myself a log peeler, which is just a draw knife. And every shop that I encountered just sort of stared at me like, huh? Oh, that's not a good sign. You don't have one. I said, well, what do you use to peel a log? And they hand me a machete. Well, I mean, okay, it sort of works if you get the grind right. It's horrible on the ergonomics. You can sort of do it. It's not great. So that was the first problem. Second problem was I have a distributed work area. I have an area that's, you know, down a muddy hill over there. I have logs up on that hill. I have a house site way up in the background. I have logs over here. So I needed a workbench in order to that was mobile to attach the logs. You start to pull on them, they move. These are small. These are actually not meant for our house. These ones here are going to be for a trellis that goes over maracuja, otherwise known as passion fruit. We have a big passion fruit garden that we've already started that's doing pretty well, and it needs a big trellis. So we're going to do an overhead style and let them go off that. They go for many years, 5-6 years. So I came up with, well, as all my answers seem to do, what do I have? How can I make it work? So we look around, I'm like, well, I have stumps. I left some stumps in the ground from trees in case I wanted to make a fence or tie something to it. I didn't know, so I just left them. The bottom's not usable anyway. Now, from a previous project making countertops in our old house, I made all beautiful beach countertops that I glued together. I had these big clamps. It's a good clamp. So I came along and I cut a notch in the top of this stump, a little V notch. Pretty decent right there. I took a big drill bit and I put a hole. So now I can come across, pop that in, clamp down. I have stumps all over the property, so I now have essentially, if I go and drill a hole and I bring my clamp, a portable workbench. The roots do a good job of anchoring it. So the second problem was the draw knife. So I made a draw knife. I go through some pictures here of me making it. It was an old leaf spring from our van that had broken. Just for whatever reason, the leaf spring broke. I had it changed out. So I did some cutting on it. I did some cold grinding with water spray to not break the temper on it. And then I started to just continue to grind it slowly with my angle grinder with water spray until I got a nice edge. So what I end up with is this guy. This is an approximation of a thing that I have seen elsewhere. It has a little bit of curve to it this way, and I've also put a little bit of curve to it this way. The hole was original from the leaf spring. This is just some rebar that we had left over from the house wall. So I made this out of what's laying around. Cost me nothing, and it does pretty well because I've got to get the bark off this. Comes off just that quick. So here we have, I don't know, it's an hour and a half of work. We've got 4 logs pretty much peeled until we got rained on. We sort of gave up. And that was me and Eli working on it. So by getting the bark off, the lumber is going to last a little longer. I can get a burn on it. I can get a boric spray on it. These are going to live outdoors, so yeah, they're going to get the full treatment to try to get them to survive. But just an example of a, you got a need, you got to fill it.